what's the most outrageous thing you've ever heard about yourself?
They say that I think I hit a pole in school and the pole bent and I just got up and walked. If I'm playing a game and you piss me off, soccer I can't do anything to you. Athletics I can't do anything. Cricket I can't do anything. You just hit the ball maybe. But rugby, you mess up with my team, I'm gonna come for you, and I'll come for you. So I thought it was better like that.
Very violent. Particular pressure in those first games you played?
As a person myself, I don't know. Actually, talk about it. I don't remember that pressure. The only pressure I think I can never remember was I think this way in front. I think I don't remember having those. No, I don't remember anything like that.
So
he don't even know his I don't know the real name, but it was called Drogba because he used to put on
I was waiting for
Drogba,
that. Namilyango people will
shirt.
identify it.
A Drogba shirt every day it was like a goat. That was easy.
Our defense, the bus left us, but let Kimono go ahead.
Kimono, tell me.
I went in to call the guys. Guys, let's go. I get out, the buses go. What do I need to do?
So for you didn't want to stay. You didn't want to stay.
As a captain, I called guys and I guys get out.
Kimono is just
on.
cutting one here. Kimono, you know what happened.
Welcome to another episode of the Fat Cats podcast, the second of 2025, bringing you candid rugby conversations brought to you by, of course, Feline Media. And my name is Ruben Kihumuro. And yet again, we're here for some interesting conversations. And our trend to start 2025 has been all about legends. But before we get into the introductions, Edwin, how have you been?
I'm good. Present as always.
2025, you've made it very intentional for you to be on the podcast. Earlier on, you were MIA in 2024. We even used to beg you to come and be on part of some of them, but you never show up.
I'm blessing you with my presence. Soon I'll disappear.
Anyway, getting into, of course, the gist of things. The person that we are having today is, interestingly and particularly, one that does not need an introduction, but podcast laws require us to give him an introduction. I have so many things I could possibly say about him, but he's an absolute athlete, in my opinion. Very many adore him, those of older ages, those of younger ages, and even those that are similar to his age. We're not going to ask him for his age, though. He's a man that has donned the national team colors, the famous blue of the Kampala Old Boys, and a person that has set trends in different aspects of the game, being one of those that got to feature for club rugby while even still in school, but also getting into the national team setting while still quite young. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Justin Kimono Simwende. Is that the right? They tell you when you're registering that you have to have a right format of the name. Is it Justin?
It is Simwende Kimono Justin.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast, Justin.
Very much appreciated. Yeah.
We have been trying to find you, but you've been dodging us. But I don't know if you, in your busy schedule, you found any time to check out any of our work. Is there anything in particular that you liked?
No, I like the openness you guys have about the sport and bringing different people, different views of different people. Like that time you had that period of bringing in fans. It was very, very nice, to a player to know the view of a fan. It is very interesting.
Okay,
yeah.
So I want us to start with a very serious question. Very, very serious question. Justin, why do you hate social media? I was doing some research on you. I think your last post was when Facebook Messenger was a thing. I don't know if you have a Twitter account or an X account. I barely saw anything, but even if it's there is no activity. It is very hard to find up-to-date pictures of you. Guys, in a .com era where we are trying to get sportsmen to really own their brands, why do you hate social media like that?
I don't hate it per se, but it's not something of my interest. I'm an outdoor person, so being on the phone 24/7, I find it is. Actually tell my kids that the phone will fry your brain. So I'm just an outdoor person, not into media. Yeah.
Edwin,
Yeah.
I'm giving you the spotlight. What would be the first thing you'd want to ask Justin? Also, first of all, this guy is a huge fanboy of yours. I mean, it is weird.
No, I have a fan club of people that I subscribe to. I give them their praises and whatever, and I fight their battles where they can't be. So for me, on my end, is that I just fight battles for people I admire a lot. So for me, it's a little bit easy on my end. But maybe just to add a few things is about Kimono is that I think for us the journey started way back in high school. So maybe we met in primary competitions. I don't know, but I got to meet the phenom that is Kimono in high school, and I think I've known him for all these years.
Kimono, what's the most outrageous thing you've ever heard about yourself?
They say that I think I hit a pole in school and the pole bent and I just got up and walked.
There are the other things he did that I will not mention. But
Anyway, I think let's just now get into a bit of the background as we now try to ascend to where we are right now. You are from, of course, some of the research that we have done. You have been a very extensive sports person, not only in rugby. You're featured in cricket, in football, in athletics, of course, and rugby. Out of all those sports that you could excel at, why is it that you decided to choose rugby?
Football, I wasn't so good in football as I played number 2. They used to say bidi atambula, play 2 and 1 into 7 and but it wasn't the thing was as one how do you call it, one legged, one footed. I used to only use one leg. I used to right leg.
Or 2 left legs.
Yeah. And I used to kick a ball with the right leg. So football you can't go at a higher level if you're using one leg. You have to be able to use both legs. So then athletics, I felt it was very draining because you have to keep on running. I felt it was a very draining sport. And I picked rugby because I'm I lose my mind quite often. So if I'm playing a game and it pisses me off, soccer I can't do anything to you. Athletics I can't do anything. Cricket I can't do anything. You just hit the ball maybe. But rugby you mess up with my team, I'm gonna come for you and I'll come for you. So I felt it was better like that.
Very violent.
One of the ways you know Kimono was coming for you in high school was you just feel some slaps on your back. Then the tackle is coming, the spear is coming from behind. So you just prepare for it. That was his signature move of when he's chasing you.
And your class in the school's competitions, especially Chaplain's Cup, was very interesting. When he talked about football, I remembered you guys would first field Yobu guys who think they know football, and especially against us. Then we'd be schooling them. Then all of a sudden we see they have brought the Bachuba. All the guys from the rugby team come. And like, what is it? Hey, guys have just come to destroy.
No, I think Chaplain's Cup used to happen like that because you would play all the games, like from finals, volleyball, cricket, soccer, rugby, on the same day. So we would move and guys would get tired and keep on switching. So I think that's how we get to those guys start, then we come and finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with rugby in Miliango, how did you pick particular interest in okay, now this is what I want to zero on? How was that whole ordeal of S1 getting into how rugby is for you?
When I was in primary, Budo Junior, they talked about rugby. They came rugby, I was tag rugby. I felt it wasn't my thing. So when I went to senior one orientation week. We began playing rugby. We would play with an old shoe as a ball. We'd play with a water bottle with water, a injury bottle with water. So we'd run with it, and I found it very interesting. I'm like, this game you run, hit yourselves. I like. So I kept on playing, but going to the competitive level, it was my brother. My brother was in Ginger College. He came to Namiliango, and I kept on telling him I play rugby. So when he came, he said, went home and told my parents at home, like, this guy keeps on saying he plays rugby. He doesn't even play rugby. And I told him, okay, let us go. Shall still be the first on the school team. So that's what happened. I played for the school team when I was in senior too. So
okay. So before we get into that part of the school team, describe for us a little bit about your first ever rugby game, competitive game in school.
it was senior 1, senior 2. Our the first round, I think I was sick. I had, I think, a sick tooth. I went home. The Edwin set up a game and they beat them. Actually, senior, they set up the game without their captain.
So you also supposed to be there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So when they beat us. They are actually literally they beat us.
You were sending a message that you guys are nothing without me.
They carried Wagi. I've never seen Wagi being carried like that. Yeah,
so when I came back, they said, "Man, where were you? They beat us." What I said, no. The following weekend, let us call for a rematch. Call a rematch. We beat them. I think it was 5-0. 5-0, and I scored the only try of that game. That was my first competitive game of rugby.
Just to paint, of course, a picture for those that are listening and watching. Now, the S2s at the time, when you guys were in S1, which notable rugby names are there?
Kafumufu.
It was the Kenozia.
Yeah, Kenozia. Trying to remember some names. Chiwalavye.
Kabanda.
Chiwalavye.
Katuntu.
Kaiwa. Katuntu. Who else? Sembatia. Okol, Odonga.
Yeah.
All the people you've mentioned, I don't think at that time their average age was below 17.
Those guys were really old.
Now that really it shows what it means as senior ones.
Pious, they're also pious.
Yes,
like those guys were very old. Actually, I don't think we ever played their team A, apart from maybe in Chaplain's Cup, where it was by force you had to play. But this thing of volunteering, like the Cahen leg in Prison Break, we want a challenge. We never did it. We feared those guys.
So anyway, one thing I want to ask, especially to you, Justin, why did you hate our class? Why did you like stressing our guys? You guys would make things complicated for us in so many ways, up to even S5, S6, by the way.
But you're big-headed.
Which class is not big-headed?
No, but you guys were particularly big-headed fellows.
You literally had Raymond Ogwang Oswe in your class, and you're talking about big-headed people.
Not big-headed.
No, of course your classmates have no problem. It's these other people. Small boys disturbing. You had no respect, so that too. you know.
So
even he, the one talking himself.
Yeah.
Big-headed fellow.
You had a big-headed high school.
As a good guy.
You over cause for people. So he had to teach you a lesson.
As a Kawa guy.
Yeah, no, he gets angry, can talk the whole day.
Yeah.
Ideally. That is another podcast of its own.
Yeah.
But now you've started playing class rugby. Where does that first indication of, okay, you are now being called into school training and all that, where does that happen?
I think it happened in, I think when we began playing sevens, because you know sevens, as long as you can run and maybe change direction, you'd be given. So I could run, they give me the ball, give Kimono the ball, you run, score. Every time. So why these guys are older than me, give the boy to run. So I would run and I would score. Makes work easy. So any person right now, if you have someone who can run and they score, why waste time not putting on the team?
Okay, there's no substitute for pace.
Yes.
Did you even play for Tigons? For those that don't know, Tigons is the second team of Namiliango.
I played for Tigons. There used to be about 4 circuits. Were they 5? I played for Tigons for the first, I think, 2. Then they called me over.
Okay.
Yes.
That was very interesting. So, getting into school team, one thing I've always paid attention to was the fact that, of course, you got into school team, I say around S2, right?
Yes.
S2. On the 15 side of things, was it also still S2?
No, I went to the I think when you played that I think it was in senior 3.
Mm.
Yes, but from senior 2 I played the Independence Cup on the school team. So I began in the sevens.
Okay. So how was your first game for the anchors, 15s in particular? Because matches, of course, sevens is something that is celebrated a lot. There is something about 15s that brings a lot of hype, that pressure, especially playing for Namiliango. And now you a kiddo to those guys who are there, the seniors and all that, and now you're being put in that particular team. How was that first game?
The first game, at that time, my captain was Emma Walakila. So I don't know, there's a way he believed in me and Kamanyere. So they kept on. Actually, me joining the school team, it was so smooth. I don't remember any hardships, because I think if you perform, I think your performance just talks for you. As in, there was no I have to compete with. No, it was you come, perform, they put you on, you score, they put you on, you tackle, they put you on, do what you're supposed to do as a winger, a young winger. So it wasn't that.
No particular pressure in those first games you played.
As a person myself, I don't know. Actually, talk about it. I don't remember that pressure. The only pressure I think I can never remember was. I think this way in front. I think I don't remember having those. No, I don't remember anything like that.
So who was very instrumental for you when it came to learning the basic skills of rugby, from passing to tackling to how to run and how to maybe hit gaps and read the game? Who are those people that were quite influential for you growing up?
I would say the person who pushed me forward was Fred, current national team coach, Fred Mudola. There are small words you used to tell me. You used to tell me words that always move me forward. Till today, I still use those things, because me, if someone is not there, I cannot say I'm not going to train. Oh, Edwin hasn't come, I'm going to train. From day one, I began training, working out. I do things alone. So when I bring someone else to work with me, they say, "Man, dude, you do too much." But to me, it is normal. So it's the mentor from way back. From
Edwin,
Fred.
what are those particular things you remember about Justin in high school?
Chimono was a dictator. And he knows. He was a dictator. But I think he also, he was a dictator, not in a bad way, but I think it was more of like we needed someone to whip us into line. I think we were a little bit also, would play rugby, but we're like, nah, we're just doing this for school team. But for him, he was looking long term. I think things of like, I think you talk about, I think there was chat going around about putting on jerseys for a period of time, but Chimono would tell us you have to put on brown shirts. And he's the only one who had a brown shirt. So all of us had to look for brown shirts because Chimono said, put on a brown shirt. And by the way, if you didn't have a brown shirt, you would not play. And yet, there was so much pride in playing rugby in high school that you had to put on what you would say. Then also, in terms of foresight, I think there was a time we were going to Nakuru East African Games, and we stopped I think in Kisumu for lunch. So I think the guy had calculated how long it takes to go to Kisumu and to Nakuru. So when we ate lunch, he ordered an extra meal and he kept it. So like, Chimono, you have too much money. Why are you overspending? You keep your money. Now when we reached Nakuru for school, he had food. Now for us, they had to go and get us the maolu that remained from the food, whatever. For him, he opened, I think it was a burger or something. He opened this thing and he ate it properly.
Yeah,
and he said, I told you guys to buy stuff for us. We felt big-headed. We're like, no, that's why he always likes that discipline thing. He'd always come and tell you, man. Then also additionally is that I think for someone to be in high school and get to a status of playing at a high level quite early was something remarkable. And I think there were very many instances where you would see this kind of future stardom coming. I think notably was those days of Hanlon Campling where, okay, so Hanlon had all the forwards and Campling had the backs. And Campling had forwards who could match the forwards, not to the highest standards, but they would do the job. And then the backs, Fanu, Oleja would come and punish us and finish. And Kimono was in Campling. So to make the game balanced, Kimono just close to Hanlon. And the game would be deemed balanced at that particular point. And everyone would be like, yeah, now it's fair, we can all play. And also in high school is like, I think maybe lastly is that there were only like 3 guys in our class who could tackle this guy. I don't remember anyone else. It would be once in a blue moon, but there were like 3 guys. And the 3 guys were Derek Aswavuli, God rest his soul. Jimmy Musisi. Remember Musisi?
Yeah, I remember.
Then Edward Ndaula. I don't know where Ndaula.
First of all, I want to say you guys should know that your class had a lot of old guys, but we shall talk about that off air.
Yeah. So,
But how can you tell me in a class of all those guys that had the people like Songol and who
Songol, Ausi.
Wagana, some of the fatter guys like Kajimu,
Yes.
no one could tackle him? How?
No. It was difficult.
Oh, it was just fear. I mean, he used to bully you guys.
It was difficult. I mean, he was a short guy, but he used to tease the fuck out of us, so it was crazy.
They have to phrase the short part.
Short man is not a boy. So.
Anyway, of course, for those that are watching and listening, we're at the Gardens Najjeera. Always look out for their weekly themes. They have a lot of interesting things that you can tie yourself to, such of which are looking at, of course, the reggae night on Wednesdays. They have quiz on Tuesday. They have the rock night on Thursdays. And every last Saturday of the month, they have the East Africa Meat Carnival, which is a whole blend of East African meaty treats and entertainment going around. So you should look out for that as well. But anyway, as we continue this, one of the things that I have noted was, of course, you started playing in S3. You were an influential part of that. Your S3 was particularly which year again? That is 2007.
Yeah.
That is the Walakiras, yes. They won a trophy. You were very influential in that one. S4 Asaba, Brian Asaba as the school team captain. You were influential in that victory. S5 was Keno. Unfortunately, that one was stopped by the semi-finals. Then S6 Yoya as well. You did not win that game. And you know, of course, there are other trophies across the board.
Add one more year.
But how does it feel being that, you know, there's a certain pride that comes with being a school team captain in Amiliango, but then you find yourself helping all these other big names in their respective years, and then when it comes to your year, unfortunately, that incident that happened, I was actually talking to some guys about it yesterday, and then your year you don't win. How did it feel for you?
Till date, it's you know, it taught me a lot in life. You just have one chance. Once it goes, that's gone. You can never take it back. Still to date it's a very painful thing, because from my senior 2, because senior 2 is the first time I went out for that game of the Barastas here.
Yeah, Barastas.
Where there was
Amiliango Smack. Yeah.
What's his name?
Kavazi.
No,
Lubega.
Kabazi.
Wakabi.
The other winger, Lubega.
Lubega, yes.
Yes. Those guys were, you know, from that time, as a young boy, kept on building. I'll be captain, I'll lift that trophy. But on my final year, training session on Tuesday, I break my leg, and I think it's just a small...
Let us first narrate that one exactly, because apparently the instructions from Coach Fred at the time were saying,
Yes.
do not play contact that
But
week.
this guy is the one. Is the one
But
who says.
this man who enjoys pain decides that week they should be trained. They should be contact. Tell us about that whole week, and I don't know if you remember that guy that fixed you for you to get injured.
He didn't actually fix me. Actually, it was the week Mr. Busyman got a call from Coach Fred and was told those guys shouldn't have contract. Just run, pass the ball, go through the game, play the structure, and that's all. So we went on pitch, began doing it. Guys were running. I don't know, some kid. I don't even know his I don't know his the real name, but was called Drogba, because he used to put on
I was waiting
a
for that.
Drogba,
Na Milyango
Drogba
people will
shirt.
identify it.
a Drogba shirt. When every day it was like a goat. That was easy. It was like his color. That's how he was.
Yeah.
After taking off uniform, Chelsea, Drogba shirt. So that I know what that guy did. He did something. Some kid hit a certain player, I remember. Then he came to me, get the ball. Some kid hit me. I'm like, okay, nice, full on contact.
Now
So
you
we kept on-
wanted
we
to
kept-
revenge against kiddos.
We kept on playing. I don't
And he
know.
took
I
it
felt.
personal.
He took it personal.
I feel. I think on there's like a part which I think had like a hole on the pitch.
Oh.
So someone just fell. In that focus, I think Drogba was among the guys he fell on my leg and I had it snap up. So I called off the session. I can't walk. I can't move my leg. The whole leg is turning. I fractured my
Fibula.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know that one because it is one I also got.
Yeah.
It haunts me a lot.
So
That carbon is unnecessary, by the way. I don't know why they put it there. It just breaks. If it can just be there.
it helps the leg turn and go back. So they tried to take me to hospital. They gave me the van at school.
Meanwhile,
Take me to
before you
hospital.
even continue, when we had that news, that news traveled like fire in school. The guys, Kimono is injured. Guys are like, now, but they're saying he may be okay for the final. Guys were still giving themselves.
That was PR.
PR
from our
was
class.
giving
Shut
themselves
up,
hope.
me, the DH and asked me, is Kimono going to play? I was like, he's going to take an injection. He'll play.
So when you went to the doctor,
So went to the doctor. Actually, the doctor didn't know as well. So they just I thought it was just like a sprain.
yeah.
So there was no swelling. So the Dr. Temper kept on moving. Told me move on a treadmill, run a bit. You won't run much. We're trying to calculate like how I should be able to play. I shouldn't work a lot. Get the ball, run a bit. Till I went to physiotherapy. He tried to massage. So in the process of massaging, he had a bone snap in the leg. Tap. He's like, you man, first wait. Let's first do an X-ray. They do an X-ray. It was a small fracture. So that put a cast on that night. I cried. I sobbed. I cried. It was done. So till date.
Then you
It hurts.
of course, dramatically, you had to come to
The guy-
Chadondo
The guy couldn't
For
even
the
give
final.
us a heads up.
with clutches and
why
the
would I
cast.
not come for a final that I'm a captain?
If I were you, I don't think I'd want to watch that game.
I thought my presence would make
But
guys
then,
hyped.
in a way, I blame you guys a little bit for that that situation. In no way had you guys prepared his understudy or the person that was, because you that year you were majorly focused on playing 13 outside center,
Yeah.
and then there was Hugo. What's his real name?
Alvin Opio.
Alvin. Yes. So Alvin was the one that covered there.
Yes.
And he had not been getting too much game time in that campaign. Then all of a sudden you fling him into a final. Don't you think that was unfair? Because I'll give him his credit. Defense, he was very good and all, but in offense, in that particular game, we were not firing at all.
No, for that one, Alvin actually had played games in the league.
Yes.
I remember we had a game before Sosh with the Gungas. Then even there was a game when we played Hana at Hana after Sosh with Sunsas. He played those games. He also played against Hana at home as well. He did play. Actually, he had because usually what would happen was that would blow out teams, and then he would eventually come on and play. He had quite the minutes. So having him to start was not debatable at all. It was normally expected.
Yes, I understand
the conditions,
that, but
the conditions also just didn't help us at all. I mean, getting a taste of Chadi in its swampy era in 2010 was not the easiest way to play a final. I mean, a team won, but
I
it
understand
wasn't the
Alvin
best.
did play
Yeah.
some games, but one thing I want to remind you guys is there are a couple of people in lower classes that had featured more than he did, and I think would have maybe done better in that situation. Take, for instance, I think Maso
was a winger.
Yes, but you
Maso
find
actually
by
started
the
that
time
final.
by the time you could be able to fix, you had Katurebe there. You also had Fred Amanyire who could play wing.
Actually,
so how about
Maso
you put Maso at center?
Maso took Amanyire's number Then Katrebe was on one wing.
'Cause
Then
was
it was
it-
Maso. Because Maso, I think,
No, Katreba was on that team because he's a very good
yeah, he was a good kicker.
He was
Yeah.
kicking all the balls.
So why wouldn't Maso go into the center and then
No,
Ama goes on one wing?
Maso was a winger. Maso was a winger. So Chimono was just giving the ball to Maso. That's all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, but back to him. I think maybe just to add before he comes in. So that particular final experience, obviously, Kakuru is there running us through the paces. We go through. Obviously, we beat Smack in semis. Then we get to play Budo. Obviously, Budo. I think the concern at the time, obviously we hear this after the fact, was that they were very much certain they would manage our park. They didn't know that we're a different breed, and I think in that game the park game was quite solid, despite the conditions. I think going now to Chadondo, obviously, by his directive, we had new shirts. He dictated again, we have to have shirts. So there's a picture I think we have with the HM after beating Smack at Legends. We took a team photo as we're going into the finals, and then even when we're at Chadi, I think first stands, the stand that is usually near the scoreboard and whatever, they put it was on the other far side near the drainage. So we're there, then we go through. I think that was the first time we had age grade was in 2008. So eventually we're running through our paces, the teams are playing, whatever. So we go this side, then when we land on the masterpiece called Kimono in Crutches. And we're like, eh. So the Kishato who I told that Kimono is going to play in, because I think we had players who had taken injections before. So even me personally, I thought it was going to be an injection thing. I didn't know the magnitude until I saw it in the cast. And then we came to realize.
How was it like for you in that final, being a fan? They say players that don't usually make good fans.
No, I looked at the game and I'm gonna look at guys were moving and they couldn't move. There were no line breaks. It was devastating to my young mind then. But it happened, and you move on. You pick up where you left.
Was it also your year that decided to choose, was it Sosh or Funk over a trip to Komboni?
It was Dexter's year, yes. Oh, yeah.
Why are you saying Dexter's?
Because Dexter was in the artwork.
Captain. I mean, I don't know if Mr. Busyman has forgiven you guys for that
I don't
stand.
think he has.
But you get to choose. You have, it was Sosh, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Sosh, yeah.
So first walk us through that ordeal, how you guys made this educated decision to stay and have Sosh instead of go to Komboni for a school team game.
But in our defense, the bus left us, but let Shimono go ahead.
Shimono, tell me.
I went in to call the guys. Guys, let's go. I get out, the bus has gone. What do you want me to do?
So for you, you didn't want to stay. You didn't want to stay.
As a captain, I called guys and I guys get out.
Shimono is just
Come on.
cutting one year. Shimono, you know what happened.
Edwin was moving. Guys, why? You know how social can be. Everyone is, someone is busy. Guys, come, let's go. I call guys. By the time I call them all together, getting out, the bus is going. I try to run, nothing.
Justin.
Okay. In all fairness, it was the first Sosh, and the next game, guys were like, okay. The context was that we were told that Susas has very many numbers. I think we were throwing shade for guys doing hack on Sosh. For us, we missed the rugby game because of girls. So we said the agreement was let's do
Half day.
At least eat lunch,
Half day.
max your money, whatever. We even told the DJ, we gave him rules that when you start, bang the top shorter hits immediately.
First
Zoom
time.
girl, whatever, start from those ones. Try sleeping with a broken heart. Those are the songs they played in the first pre-lunch session. Then so Chimono comes looking for guys. Now Chimono was doing it very casually. He was not serious. He was not the harsh guy we knew on the pitch. He was like, guys, let's go. Guys also moving around. He's like, guys, let's go. They're like, hey, we're coming. And these are like, what's going on? What are you talking about? Go where? We're like, no, we have a rugby game, but we'll go. We'll win it. We'll win, and we'll come back. Yeah.
The bus left us.
So now lunch starts. So the rule was, we agreed with Mr. Busyman, we eat lunch because that money was I think 40k. So it was sizable money at the time, and we're like, let's eat lunch at least, and then we go. Now lunch was where problems started. This thing of being a gentleman, fork, knife, whatever. In that mix, doesn't the bus hoot? Those who are aware try to run. For me, I'll not lie. I was nowhere near the bus. Me, I was still enjoying. I just go to, when I saw Kimono in the main hall after the bus had left, I was like, me, I'm Kawa. I was like, I'm okay. There is no problem. If the captain is here, if Kimono had left us behind,
then you guys started pleading with HM for, apparently you pay for a van, it takes you, what?
He's the one who came up with the van solution. Let him tell us. He's the one who came up with the van solution.
The bus left us.
End of story.
Did
Did you ever have a chat with Mr. Busyman afterwards? Or he didn't want to talk to you?
Mr. Busyman, I can't talk. You people are very stupid. Can you make us? You'd have told us and leave the game. I know that game. Did we win?
We didn't
No,
win.
the whatever has traveled. Now remember, for us, we were still in, I think, in VAC.
We lost,
for
yeah.
VAC. We had not yet come back.
Yeah.
Then it was the muscles that left.
Yeah, the masses, because it was
I think they
S4s.
lost over 5-0. Something like that.
They lost that game because even I remember some of them, even in training, didn't want to talk to us.
But you see, the end result is when we made the final. So
Yeah, it's the final. But I think it was real sold the cause for women.
Your biggest or your most fond memories, those that you can never forget from high school.
if the whole package of high school was if you never played rugby in high school, you missed a stage in rugby. Every moment from, you see, the whole Sosh leaving you, the whole going to Budo, you jogging around the pitch, you threatening people, frightening people, you jog around the pitch with small shots, you do a lot of stuff, intimidating people, you go to Hana, all that whole thing, those are all memorable things you can't just let go. From the time even how do you call it, Namagunga and I had a social with them, they were putting the rugby players on the cover of their is it magazine?
Yeah, social
on their
magazine.
It was all a battle, complaint. No, you're putting you're copying us, putting this. It is all just, it was something you can't just forget.
I was having an internal debate about if I should talk about this side of things, but now that you've brought it up in your conversation, let us talk about it. The attention that comes with being Justin Kimono as a young man in high school. You're a house captain, you're an athlete, you're playing, you're even running, I think at some point you're even running a district, short sprints, I think. Then you're playing for school team, you're on magazines, girls know your name. How are you handling all that attention? And how are you even balancing all that?
Like you just said earlier, I don't like social media, so so it appears to me
he was popular but not popular. Yes.
Just be quiet in my own things. I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe one more thing, Ruben, just to add is that in respect to captains, I think you said captains who had never won in their years. So Issa Matrix did give us a small compilation of, he calls it the greatest players of Namiriango to never lift the schools league. I mean, it's very embarrassing or even saddening to have
Is that
such
one
a
was sent in the
title.
audio?
No, there's another one. So he said the list has, obviously, starting with our guest here, Justin Kimono, 2010, Ian Munyani, 2015. I just skipped your year. Sorry.
Why are you skipping Mugume Roy?
Roy Mugume, 2011.
Meanwhile, Roy cried a lot in your year. Well, guy, this is not your year. Don't overcry. Tochisusa.
By the
First of
way,
all, if they had won, they were going to make noise for us.
Yeah.
That was the only silver lining from Because I remember we
You're
were
such
there.
a hater.
Yeah,
You're such a hater.
You guys gave us so much hard time.
Yeah.
Man.
So Roy Mugume,
Uh-huh.
Edmond Tumusime 2003.
Oh,
I
really?
think those are the guys who lost to Budo or Chambogo. And then
Chambogo.
also Ronald Mwisaka in 2002. Man, that crying thing, man.
Edwin, did you cry?
No.
You cry when
it's
R&B is
drizzled.
being played.
It's drizzled.
So-
Drizzled after the game and people got confused. People thought we were crying, but actually we were reacting to the rain.
There's an interesting
Sorry.
spin to that story
Yes.
from Marvin Odong of that leads into that particular
Yeah.
final. But I'll give him a benefit of that or the privilege of talking about it. But you should know there's a different spin to it from his point of view, going into the final, of course, and unfortunately losing his dad.
Yeah. No,
But-
but in hindsight, I think, as Chimono said, you know, when you're young and you encounter such ills in life, it can be quite very, very painful as a young child. I do note that we dealt with it differently. Me, I'll admit, personally, I cried. I felt that was like the end of our what you'd call somewhat golden era, where
It was golden.
were like because the Kenos failed semi-finals against
Yeah.
Mark.
Okay.
So it was more we're like the golden era coming to revive rugby.
yeah.
So there was a lot of
Hope.
push and shove from the administration to get it done. Special meals, whatever we
Man,
would,
those
would
special
watch.
meals
Yeah,
were nice.
would watch the documentaries. I think when we watched the Lions tour, South Africa, 1999, 97. Watched the documentary. Yeah, because I think at the time they were saying that
You know-
Budo's pack was heavier than us, and it was more of like a way of getting motivated. And at that time, when the Lions toured South Africa, the South Africans had just won the World Cup. So their pack was the heaviest in the world, and the Lions managed to beat them in South Africa. I think it was 2-1. So, I mean, all that investment that was made and to lose it, all that in 80 minutes was very painful. Classes after on Monday were very painful. We were zoned out as guys. Some teachers would just come and say, you know what, let me leave my book, you guys will copy these notes and then we'll go through them. Like, there was no energy whatsoever. We were all down
You know,
until he came up with some weird ideas. He came up with some 2 ideas
you
in
know-
sevens and in East African games.
yeah. You know that our year after the Kenos year losing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hope and pressure. You know, I personally, Mr. Gerard Mugulma, headmaster then, I think had a soft spot for me in quite a number of things.
You
We
reminded me. Continue.
had a soft spot for me because I think in school I was not stubborn as a good person at school. Yeah, as a good person, and I presented sports people in a very good way, and I think that's what Mr. Mugulma that time wanted, because from school, from our senior 3, we went to Chisubi and played their senior 3, which had never ever happened. We come to our year, 2010. We start getting special meals. Teachers, when you play a game, they used to come and chase us out in the morning for morning prep, but they reached the time, we talked to them. Mr. Marunda began chilling. He wouldn't come to us because, you know, they would want boys to sleep so to have a better day, a better week. You know, there were special things. You know, I was talking about our year being a revolutionary year of sorts, because in our year we began the same year our year began the
Barbarians
Cup. We began that cycle of the
Champions Cup 15s.
Yes. We also that
Yeah, that was good.
the cycle of that our cycle began with
Yeah.
our year.
Yeah.
It has moved up to
A
Up to
fully
now.
fledged
Yeah.
hacker. Now.
from that has been
Upgraded into
into a hacker. You know, we all started that. You know, it I told Edwin when we're in school, like, you have to start something that will leave a legacy for our year. So we did that. So I said I came up with some other ideas. We said, man, we lost the school's 15s. let us go for East African Games. We prepared, we went. Unfortunately, there was some biased decisions done by the refs there, and we got third place. Then he said, let us try again, salvage Independence Cup, which the final we lost.
You remember the first game we gave these guys? We saw them struggling. We're like, get off.
Get off.
Get off.
Hey, you guys always set us up to fail. The first game you're giving us is against a Kenyan school.
You have to learn the hard way.
If you guys wanted us to learn, why didn't you just leave us to play? And so that you can do what you normally do, shit on us.
Me had gone to chill.
Then you guys
me
come.
had gone to chill.
Then
this guy is the one.
Then Hannah.
He's the one.
Hannah finds you guys in the
him.
final and decimates you guys.
We were tired after a smack game.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
And we were very unfit. For us, we were unfit, but we played the whole game. And then we went for kicks. Then what happens? Dexter is one who kicked the winning kick.
Yeah,
he kicked the winning kick. So Hannah finds us, after they have smoked some team, they find a tired, unfit. Okay, you guys were fit, us were unfit.
Yeah,
we trained for like 1 week.
Simon never been unfit. Guys, let us not lie.
No, me that game I looked at Chimono and also saw he had no gas. I said,
let me tell you what was happening on the bench.
Because we are going actually we are going to exams. So
yeah, we're going into exams.
So
yeah.
What was happening on the bench? Guys didn't even want to get on in that final. Yeah, but it was interesting. As we start to leave this high school jazz.
Ruben, sorry. One thing. I'm calling out Caesar. We went to Smack in S3. We played them first half. We banged them even a try. At home in Kisubi, it was one leg. The Alcabas had just come, so it was still fresh and whatever. So we go to Smack, we play the guys, we bang them. Obviously, Chimono was playing fullback. Because there's Chimono. Anyone who breaks the line, just leave it for Chimono. He would finish. He would just annihilate anyone who would pass the line. So now this Smack, this half time, they are losing. They do a hado and whatever. They're like nada. The juniors start sloping. Some guys start sloping. So they sent S4s
to play S3
and S5s to play S3s. And they narrowly won that game. So Caesar, you're here? No.
We've always.
Caesar, you're here? No.
We've always. Anyway,
we got we banged them in S6.
Yeah.
Semi-final. So that was fair.
Properly.
Yeah.
there are certain incidents I want us to talk about. First incident is there is that famous thing that was a story that is told about the 2009 final. That is Brian Asavazia, correct? 2008, yes, 2008. That at halftime, in the huddle, he was like, Chimono, help us win this game, please. Apparently, even one tea or two came out.
No,
is that true?
No, it wasn't like that. I think it was on a line out. It's like Justin, what's happening? I'm like, man, I don't know. He tells me, Justin, please do something. I said, okay, give me the ball. The scrum, I told the scrum half, gave him the ball. He picked the ball from the line out, gave it to the scrum half that time.
It was Dexter who passed the ball to you.
Dexter was playing 9. I don't know how you guys are allowed.
Dexter
I was
came
playing,
on
I think,
for
9.
Soboga.
Yes, he was at 9.
Came on for Soboga.
Yes, he gave me the ball. I don't know what I was doing at number 10 position.
Because in defense, you were helping, what was his name? Kajina. Was it Kajina?
Kajina was the
Because
10, yes.
Kajina was a defensive liability every time Mickey was running into that gap.
Yes.
So you were always somehow there.
So I got the ball, I chipped the ball over. I ran after the ball, lucky bounce, came in my hands, scored, and won the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Second scenario. And I'm happy I have both of you here. Sevens, home circuit. Was it the final or semi-final? Against Hannah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember.
they break the line.
Let him just. I remember.
A one upcoming destabilizing Philip Wokorach breaks the line. You are the sweeper, and then you are seen to signal to a tired Edwin that was pretending that we was covering behind you. Then you sort of do something like, leave it, I got this. And then all of a sudden, Philip Wokorach pulls out one of his craziest side steps, leaves you seated on your backside to go and score a try that put us, the entire school, in absolute silence What do you remember about that moment?
There are two versions. There are three versions.
No, which
Edwin, we
version?
don't want to hear your version. We shall call you for your.
I was cross covering.
Uh-huh.
I think I was in the sweeper. I think I was at center.
Mm.
So I think I was cross covering. Philip had broken the line because if you're fitter than another person, of course you have to cover. If you can get it there before anyone, it's fine. So I ran to cross cover. I said when I was being pest because I knew Philip was going to cut in to come back inside because the line was done. So I was trying to give him a pseudo gap. Edwin to have him, but I look at Edwin is very fast, so I try to finish the man early. It was too late. He did the razzle-dazzle and I slipped and
What
He scored.
Kimono did like this. Now, in hindsight, he meant like be calm, just remain there. He's going to cut back in, you eat him. Now, me, when he did this, I thought the girl was saying, I have the guy. just stay away. This is
Edwin
big
went
boy.
for supper.
This is big boy shit.
Reach out
You
to
are
the-
still a small boy. You leave big men to fight. Hey.
Cha-cha.
I saw Cha-Cha. Then I'm like, oh, the gap is there. Oh, I tried to chase. Oh, but God. He banged the try under the poles. I was like, man, I looked up. Guys were quiet. I was like, I've sold. Tell you know those days college, man, when you say
no,
but
but
On the
the
plus
thing-
side, you guys won.
we won.
You won the
we
circuit.
scored after
now
that.
you say how we won.
You won the circuit.
Who scored the first try?
The records have someone else.
You
The
what
records.
you saw? Who scored?
No, that was the only try for Hannah.
No, they scored 2 tries. Won that game 4-2. Actually, Alberto is the one. When they
Then-
scored, it was 3-2. They made it 3-2. Then Alberto scored. They tried to make it 4-2.
Aha.
But you answer who scored the try against Mark when Fanu got a yellow card.
I don't know. It was some guy. I don't remember, man.
You tell them. You tell them.
Anyway.
Come on my house and you slander me.
So, the last thing, is it true that as you are coming back in S5, you got an offer from SMARC for a bursary for your entire A-level plus probably even pocket money, and you turned it down to come back to Namilyango?
Like I tell you, the most hilarious things that you hear in high school. That one I would take it like me hitting the pole and the pole bending. It is the same thing there.
So you did not get any
No,
offer from SMARC?
I never got it. But of course, Mr. Mutebi, of course, Kimono. Jangu tuzanye rugby na ekisubi. Rugby na milango muleke jangu tuzanye rugby ekisubi. Of course, he just told me that. Of course, yeah. As any teacher would want a good player to come over, so it was just he suggested something like that to me. You put Kisubi, ebira bindekere.
Anyway, so as we transition into club, we were first hinted on the fact that you had some stints with Cobs while you were still in high school. How did that even happen?
My first game for Cobs was you guys don't know, you never know that tournament. It was called Chairman's Cup. It was a two day tournament. It was Saturday and Sunday, 15th. So we would play. I think it was a play of the B. I think there are 4 teams because we played 2 games. We play semi-final. We played semi-final and the final. We played Mongas in the semi-final. It was it was my first game. I played very well. Then went to the final with Pirates. Though we lost to Pirates with a kick from Chinene from the halfway. It was that old stand, not the new one at the parking lot this time. He kicked the ball into the post, so we lost 3-0.
As I've known him for how long we have known him, we're not allowed to call him Justin Kimono. His mother and father were not crazy when they gave him 3 names, Justin Simwende Kimono. And as a sign of respect, we call him Justin Simwende Kimono. Now I've seen this man develop. I can speak a lot about Kimono. It's a favorite topic of mine. Who is a better finisher? Who is a better player? I always put Kimono up there. It's one of those arguments I always have. But I'll say this about Kimono, right? Kimono gets a lot of disrespect from these kids here. And one of these days you're going to organize a fight. You people keep on disrespecting Kimono. Don't seem to know who Mr. Kimono is, man.